We met on a dating app. Clean profile, soft smile, a few artsy photos, nothing alarming. His name was Ellis. He messaged me first, said he loved stargazing and found beauty in forgotten places. I agreed to meet. He picked me up just after sunset, driving an old BMW that smelled like cedarwood. We talked about constellations, his favorite being Cassiopeia. He said he knew a place, an abandoned rooftop planetarium in the city. I should have asked more questions. I should have left right then, but I didn't. We climbed 10 floors up a fire escape behind a shuttered museum. The rooftop was surprisingly clean. At the center stood a dome made of rusted steel and dusty glass. Inside, the projector was still functional, ancient, but working. I snapped a few pictures with my phone to capture the awesome moment. "This place runs on memory," Ellis said. I laughed, thinking it was a metaphor. Then the stars flickered on. But something felt wrong. I leaned back in one of the cracked chairs, staring up. The stars didn't move the way they should. They pulsed like breathing. "What's powering this?" I asked. Ellis just smiled. "We're all made of stardust," he whispered. "Did you know that?" "You're starting to scare me," I said. He didn't reply. Instead, he pointed at a cluster of red stars, saying, "That's not Orion. That's something older." The weirdest part? No one else seemed to notice. Below us, the city buzzed. People walked by, lights flashed. But here, time seemed stuck. I looked again at the stars. They weren't projections. They weren't painted. They were watching. One of them blinked. That was the moment. Everything went wrong. I bolted upright. The air had gone cold. The projector clicked off, but the stars stayed. I tried the door. It was locked. "Ellis," I said, "open it." He didn't move. "Ellis." He turned slowly, face pale and eyes wide. "They like you," he said. "They usually take longer to choose. This next part, even I don't understand it." The stars above began to spin. Not like a galaxy, more like a drain. And the walls of the dome stretched, bent, twisted. Something was crawling out of the light. I screamed. Ellis didn't. He just said, "Shine on." And then he stepped into the center of the room and knelt. "Wait," I shouted. "You brought me here to feed them," he said. "But you were chosen." What I saw next changed everything. The stars collapsed into a single point, and from it, something unfurled. Not a creature, more like a mass of shadows in the shape of hunger. I should have fainted. I didn't. I ran straight through the door, which was somehow open again. I didn't look back. Then I made the worst decision of my life. I told someone. I showed photos, none of which showed the stars. Only darkness, only Ellis. Smiling, they put me in psychiatric care for 2 weeks. Said I hallucinated it, said there was no Ellis, no planetarium, no rooftop access. But I went back. I had to be sure. The rooftop is gone, replaced by flat concrete. But some nights, when the city goes still, I swear I can see it again. That dome, those stars, and they're still watching. We matched on a Friday. His name was Lane. His profile was oddly simple. Just one blurry photo and a bio that read, "Looking for something real." Our chats were short but charming. He suggested dinner at a place called the Hollow Fork, some old converted farmhouse just outside the city. It was dimly lit, quiet, oddly beautiful, in a forgotten kind of way. As we sat down, Lane smiled and said, "So, full disclosure, my last date went missing." I laughed. "You're joking, right?" He just smiled wider. "Sure." I thought it was a weird attempt at humor. I mean, people say creepy things for shock value. But the way he watched me after saying it, not funny. Still, I stayed. My first mistake. Dinner was normal enough. We talked about music, horror movies, old bookstores. But he didn't eat. Not one bite. "Not hungry?" I asked. "I'm saving room," he said. That's when things got strange. The waitress never returned after taking our order. The other tables slowly emptied. I didn't see anyone leave. It was like the building was swallowing them. I need to use the restroom, I said, mostly as an excuse to get away. I found a hallway lined with antique mirrors, none of which showed my reflection, not just dim or dirty. I mean nothing. That's when I knew I was being watched. I turned around and Lane was standing right behind me. I was worried you got lost, he said. What is this place, I asked. He tilted his head. A second chance for them. I backed up. My hands were shaking. For who? Lane didn't answer. Instead, he opened a door. Inside was a dining room, much older, with thick wooden beams and candlelight. The table was set for dozens, but every chair was empty, except one. A woman was slumped forward. Her face was hidden beneath her hair. Her hand twitched. Help, she whispered. Lane gently closed the door behind us, then said, Some people are such picky eaters. I ran, but the hallway stretched. The door back to the main restaurant kept moving farther away. The faster I chased it, my legs felt like they were sinking into the floor. And then the whispers started. Not in my ears, in my head. Stay. Join. You're almost ready. I slammed into the front door and spilled out onto the gravel lot. My car was gone. Lane stood in the doorway, watching me. Not running, just watching. I stumbled into the woods, bruised and breathless. I don't remember how I got home. But that's not all. The Hollow Fork doesn't exist. No record online, no listing, no abandoned building in that area at all. I even tried going back. The road loops endlessly. GPS glitches out every time I'm near. I went to the police. They looked up Lane's photo from the app. It's an old file, the detective said. That man went missing in 1979. Took his date out to a farmhouse for dinner. She was never found. Here's what really happened that night. Whatever Lane is now, he isn't human. He keeps dating, keeps feeding them, and sometimes I hear a whisper from my mirror. You're almost ready. It was supposed to be a casual dinner date. Liam picked the place, Crimer's Kitchen, a little hole-in-the-wall spot, tucked between a laundromat and a boarded-up bookstore. No website, no reviews, not even a working phone number. But Liam swore it was the best food he'd ever had. When we arrived, I immediately noticed something strange. Everyone inside, the waiters, the hostess, the busboy, they all looked identical. Pale skin, long necks, greasy black hair combed the same way. Same unnaturally wide smile, same dead glassy eyes. That's the Crimer family, Liam said. They own the place, real old school. I tried to play it cool, but listen to this. Every time someone walked past our table, they stared at me, not just glanced, stared, like they were trying to memorize my face. We sat down. The menus were laminated and completely blank. I asked, So, what do we order? Liam didn't even look at me. They'll bring something. They always know what you want. I should have left right then, but I didn't. A waiter came over, same face, same hollow smile, and placed 2 plates in front of us. Mine had something raw and wet, red, sinewy. I couldn't even tell if it was meat or plant. Liam's was the same. I asked what it was. The waiter leaned in, so close I could feel his cold breath on my cheek. Tradition. I didn't eat, but Liam devoured his with unnerving enthusiasm, chewing with his eyes closed like he was savoring something sacred. And then I heard it again, closer this time, the sound of chewing. But it wasn't just Liam. It was coming from the walls, the ceiling, the vents, like the whole place was alive and gnawing. What is this place? I whispered. He didn't answer, just kept eating. I stood up. Every Crimer in the restaurant turned their heads toward me. At the exact same time, I asked to use the bathroom. One of them guided me down a long hall. I expected a small restroom at the end. Instead, The hallway opened into a cold, tiled room with stainless steel tables, industrial sinks, and a drain in the middle of the floor stained with something dark. In the corner, a pile of clothing, women's clothing, purses, jewelry, phones. I never should have come. Liam, I begged when I got back to the table, we need to leave. But he just stared at me. His eyes were different now. Glassy, cold, wide like theirs. You haven't even touched your food, he said, smiling. That's when I knew he wasn't Liam anymore. I backed away, heart racing, but the chimers were closing in. Slow, synchronized, grinning. I bolted. I don't remember how I escaped. I just remember the street lamps outside never turned on. I ran through endless alleys, the sound of footsteps behind me in perfect rhythm. When I finally got home, I checked my phone. Liam's number was gone. Crimer's kitchen never existed. Not on maps, not in the city registry. I still see that same wide smile in crowds, on strangers, even in my reflection. And sometimes, when I sleep, I hear chewing inside the walls. Thanks for listening. Now close your eyes and sleep.